Hello, everybody. Welcome back for another breakdown. This one is titled, What Would the Framework Do? It can't be this easy, can it? Surely not. And I know what some of you are saying, right? Some of you despise the idea of a framework for cinematography, something so artistic. Patrick, how could you possibly break it down into these little chunks that make it easier for you to get images that you're happy with? Surely this is sacrilegious. You cannot do it. They are artists, the cinematographers. Well, maybe. Or maybe cinematography is just like another artistic medium. What would that be? What would be a good analogy here? Maybe music, for example. Artists that create music. Do they follow a framework? I don't know, tricky. What about, maybe let's make it easier, maybe guitar, right? There's some really great guitar players and there's some terrible guitar players. But what do they all do? Well, they all know chords. There's only a certain amount of chords. And some people combine them better than others. Some people use their imagination, creativity, to combine chords in a certain way, or they play chords better than the other people. Maybe that's what the framework is. Maybe it's a set of chords for you to be less terrible, right? Could that be a thing? I don't know, I'm just thinking out loud, but I know the problem, right? You've never even seen my face before. You don't even know who I am. This guy talking about chords for cinematography, could that possibly be true? I don't think so. I think this guy's an idiot. But you're still watching, you're still here. And if you've never seen me before or you don't know what the framework is, I have a solution for you. Down below, in the description, there is a link. You click on that link that says framework course or framework, whatever it says, and you get the 6 basic chords that make up the framework. And if you watch that and if you understand that, you will get more benefit out of this video and every single video that I do. Because I take the cinematography that we look at, all of the different little films and commercials that we look at here, and I break them down using this technique. That basically makes it easier for you, so every single video, I don't have to go over the same thing. I just say, oh, framework, there. Why is it important? Do you have to use it all the time? No. Do you have to use chords all the time if you're playing the guitar? No. But if you want to make it not easy on yourself, but if you want to make it a little bit easier on yourself, you use the framework. So let's take a look at this commercial. This is a fun one. Okay, guy with the cereal, walking along. Hello. And sit down. Yum. Scoop, scoop for breakfast. That looks delicious. What's that, a pin? Yes, please. Ooh, I really like it. They include it for free. Yes, they do. Only in Scandinavia. And pin. Wife's not happy, right? Standard practice. Doesn't believe that you're going to follow through on whatever that pin stands for. But you have conviction. You'll prove her wrong. Uh-oh. The disbelief grows to anger. Anger grows to resentment. And these two end up getting divorced in the end of this commercial. Is that right? No. I think they just eat cereal. Okay, so does anybody see what's happening here? Please. Why is this the easiest way to shoot this? And easy, should sound like an insult, right? It's easy. No, it's an incredibly efficient way to shoot this. And this is probably, I won't speak for Roger because I don't know him, but this is probably the way that Roger Deakins would shoot this commercial. And I laugh because I bring him up a little bit too much to be funny. But this is the easiest way to do this commercial because it follows almost every single aspect of the framework written down here, right? Let's go over the beginning. Number 1 is the room layout. This is the single most important question that you have to answer in setting up for the entire look of this commercial. Let's go full screen. Can we do it, people? Yes, please. Say it ain't so. It is. Okay, well, first of all, funky little aspect. You know this is from Scandinavia, right? Surely this is a Scandinavian project if you're going with the funky aspect ratio. The single biggest decision in the look of this thing and making it easy for yourself, for the lighting team, for everybody involved to go quickly and still make it look fantastic like this does, is where this interaction is going to take place. These two people sitting here. They very easily could be sitting in these 2 chairs, right? Why are they sitting in these 2, and why does that make that immensely easy? Well, number 1, it allows you, based on the size of the room here, to be able to shoot into the corners of the room. Also, it allows you to light from this window that we never see out of, right? We get a little hint that it's there. That provides all of the key light. But this orientation, window here and action here, and action running parallel to the wall that has the window, right? That is the single most important thing. If you take anything away from this video, if you're going to do a sit-down little breakfast chat like this, or any sit-down, could be people in office, could be people anywhere. People like to sit, right? It's a thing. If you're going to have 2 people sitting across from each other, and you're going to be taking pictures of it, 24 frames a second, this is probably the orientation that you want to make it as easy as you can. Now, why is it easy? Because we never see this window. We are allowed to pump as much light as we want. So then we have full control over the exposure in the background because we can either pump more in here or pump less. We don't have to pump the entire room full of stuff. We can concentrate on a really, really small little area. But that means you cannot be looking ever at that window or else the gig is up, right? If you sit him here and you sit her here, she's gonna be getting all front lit, he's gonna be heavily backlit, and then you're gonna have to massage the levels, which is really, really difficult. You don't wanna make it difficult on yourself, especially if you're terrible, right? And if you're watching YouTube videos on cinematography, the chances are you're terrible. So I'm trying to help you to be a little bit less. And I'm also speaking to myself, thinking, what would I do? I'm not very good. This is probably how I would do it. So you sit down and immediately you see big key over here. Because of the orientation of the room or the action inside of the room, this is the L right there. And then from here, right, let's talk about the lighting on him when he looks up. All right, look away from the cereal box. None of this matters. Let's get to the back and forth conversation. Here we go. Boom. Okay, window over here that you can't see. Neg on this side. Little tiny bit of hard light there. Why are these things important? Layers in the background. The more layers, the more three-dimensional the image looks. The more non-white walls, right? You don't want white walls anywhere because that kills all of your shape. This is a different shade. If you were to flip this image over to black and white, again, you want different tones across the entire image. That is what down here is getting. That is what all the production design here is getting, right? As a cinematographer, you're showing up, okay, maybe you pick them to sit in this spot, maybe you pick this light over here, maybe you pick the exposure back here for the windows and you set the stop on the lens, but you're not bringing in this vase over here. You're not picking the colors here. You should be involved in those conversations, but really a lot of it is art direction, production design, makes it look this nice, then costume, wardrobe, to get the colors right? This nice blue looking into the shadow here because we're on this side of the line, right? The light is over there. These two are here, we're on this side. It is this easy. As soon as you make that one decision and it works and all of the coverage plays out so that you never ever see that window, right? We never want to see that window. So what's happening here is, let's say this is a real location over here. You can have a gigantic 8x8 inside here. You can push level through the actual window itself. And then here, you've got an 8x8, nice big magic cloth. Then you put some neg over here and you just beautiful, beautiful light happening there. And it's really easy to swap sides, right? Not only does it look nice, but in terms of efficiency, look at that, boom, for getting the job done. I mean, that is a good looking image, right? Okay, it's a little bit hot, right? But these are decisions that you're probably not involved with if you're the cinematographer at that point. You could easily make this into a Bradford Young style of commercial if you just lowered the levels, take a little contrast out of it and lowered the levels. But even more important than making it look nice, okay, yes, depth, right? Really shallow on the frame, creating interesting things in the background. Now these windows, again, it doesn't really matter about those windows if you can light through the window that you never see because you can control the amount of exposure. You can control how hot or how low the window is in exposure just by adjusting your key level. And now that makes you incredibly efficient for time as well. Because from here, as soon as you set up, where are you? Right, as soon as you set up this shot, right? You do this one first shot of the day. We're not even gonna talk about how nicely this is done, right? You get these little areas of lines that you can look down. We're not even gonna talk about that. We aren't gonna talk about why my pen switched either. But as soon as you set this up, we don't have to change any lights for the rest of the entire shoot day, right? Everything is done. I also like this little sheer that's just on the window. It's only half. It's like a pinky sheer too, right behind her. Like just beautiful, beautiful stuff. Very well done. And now this, all we've got to do here is you bring in your 8x8 of magic cloth, you bring in your neg, you're done. Go. Maybe you bring in like a little sky panel just up above here to help wrap around to the other cheek if you can't get it. But usually with an 8x8, the placement of the 8x8, you can get enough wrap. This one, again, nothing special, really, really flat. This one, still no lighting change. No lighting change. Very rare, too, that you'll see the darker neg on the lady and the more open shadows on the dude, but that is the case here. I like it. Still no lighting change. I mean, look out. That is a beautiful looking image, right? We just nailed it. We've nailed the exposure. We nailed the color, right? It feels like it's like a little bit harder across the body. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's just a little bit harder for her. This little highlight in the background, this little ping here, all these things in the foreground, just creating as many layers with different colors, contrasts. It's a beautiful looking spot. We still haven't changed anything in the lighting. And keep going, keep going, keep going. We're just closer now. Keep going. Confusion. Yes, please. I'll have cereal. So will I. Ta-da! That's it. Everybody thinks you're a genius, but just imagine how much harder it would be if you set these two opposite this way. How many things you'd have to be changing in between shots and rebalancing, and the framework makes it very, very simple. And that's it. You plug in one chord, bang, you strum the strings, and you're laughing. And then people pay you the money, and you go home and you have the time of your life. Okay, that is going to do it for this episode. Many thanks for checking it out. And if you don't understand the framework, you never heard of it, you don't know what it is, be sure to click on the link down below in the description, and you can take the whole little course. I think it's 6 videos altogether. So that is it. We will see you in the next one.